Speaking of Marvel, I got it right that time. This is Shang-Chi. Didn't we just get this teaser trailer? Like, I can't remember how many times.
Feels like it wasn't that long ago that we saw the teaser, but good lord, time's moving fast.
But this is
right now.
coming in August. Well, we'll see at the end of this.
September, I think, is when this one comes out.
But this is generally like leading up to this. Real quick before we watch it, like this is the one that's like Black Widow. We kind of know it's going to be. It's like a spy movie. Like this is like it's not as crazy as this and Eternals are both have this less so, but in a more Doctor Strangey sort of way, like more like we don't know. I don't know anything about this, and like it's a whole new sort of.
I'm not familiar with the source material of this or the Eternals, so it's fun. These will both be fun for me going in.
Yeah, it's like watching Guardians, or something. I mean, it's not
exactly like Guardians because I wasn't familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy going into.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this. It's not just another, whatever edition. All right, let's start it and play.
Throughout my life, the 10 rings gave our family power.
That's cool. It's like Crouching Tiger stuff.
That's what I love about it.
You have to show me.
And his dad's the Mandarin, right? That's how they're kind of making this.
I'd die if Iron Fist showed up in this movie.
You are a product of all
like, hey, what's up?
The legacy of your family. You are your mother.
Oh, this looks way different even that teaser.
Yeah. At least they've got a movie where they're not like, all right, so this rich white guy, he's the best kung fu master in the world. It's like, that's a really bad
I mean, that's why it's like everybody's Asian in this movie. So it's like good. It's just
way better. It's like this way.
This looks fun.
Looks like Skyfall.
Glad I was right.
He's just a criminal.
He gets spanked around a lot in this movie, doesn't he?
Be careful how you speak to me, boy.
I like that actor. Who's that? I've never seen him before. He's got a cool voice.
Isn't Michelle Yeoh in this?
I think so.
So there's some Crouching Tiger for you right there. Where's Chow Yun-fat in all this?
That looks like Inception right there.
Escape his shadow.
Yeah, that's a cool effect. To just be a really high
some Narnia
concept sort of Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah,
it really put a lot into it.
Like this is where, oh my god,
this
is crazy. Is
dragon?
that like the Iron Fist dragon?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Netflix couldn't afford that shit.
You got this.
That's Abomination.
Thank you.
That makes sense. That's what he's been doing. He's just been a cage fighter. That's what I'm saying. There can definitely be mutants. If like Abomination is just somewhere in Madripoor as a cage fighter, then there's definitely more things in this world that we haven't thought of.
Tim Roth is gonna. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, is he actually in it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's for real Abomination then. Cool.
Well, I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but I can. But yeah, that's. I think that looks great.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. That one looks actually kind of awesome because it looks like. I love the ones they make that it doesn't have to be a Marvel thing. Like this
to
could
me,
just
it
be
looks
an
like
awesome
Crouching
movie.
Tiger. It looks like a Disney movie or some weird thing. Like that's what looks nice about it.
So that'll be fun.
It looks like its own thing, and not. I mean, I don't like to say that to be reductive. Like it's like another. But it looks like the same way Black Panther was like a whole different world. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to just see a bunch of, like it's not. It's cool that it's like a whole nother culture and stuff like that. That's like,
and it feels kind of like Phase 1 Marvel, where like now we're making movies where we're not trying to have everything build the giant storyline. We're just trying to introduce some new characters.
Yeah, they're not showing it. They only are showing like the top 15 actors. So I don't know. We'll see.
The top 15. Like, sorry.
Well, they're not showing like the thing though. That is Abomination though. I mean, that looks like him.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Weird if it looked exactly like him and just wasn't.
Well, this is the difference. So, like with with the Iron Fist show, they can show talk about a dragon, and this is no, we're going to show you a dragon. I mean,
yeah, we're going to put some money into this.
Is that the same sort? I mean, you said you didn't know anything about Shang-Chi. Is it supposed to be the same sort of universe as that? like in the same vein, like chi powers and stuff, or like is that
I don't
the deal
know,
with it?
because my understanding of the comic book was that, like a lot of similar kind of character concepts where someone was like, Bruce Lee's really popular. Let's make a Bruce Lee kind of kung fu master. So
Right.
it's just about a kung fu guy. Like, I don't know if they had originally all that developed mythology into it, because try as they may, as well-meaning as they may have been, those guys writing those comics wouldn't have been like authorities on that type of culture,
Right.
anyway.
Well,
So
yeah, I
there's
get
probably
that.
some cringeworthy stuff. If you read the original source material, there's probably some.
Yeah,
like,
well, Kevin Feige's mentioned that. I mean, they've really had a particular thing about not a great history with Asian culture and Asian Americans.
yeah, even the
and
MCU
Marvel.
has had its problems. Like when Doctor Strange came around, they recast the ancient
And to their
one.
credit too, again, it's like I'm being a Kevin Feige. Like I read an article recently, I think promoting maybe this, and he's like, yeah, we messed up. Because at that time they're like, well, this is what we want to do, But he's like, yeah, we thought we were being too clever and thought we'd do it. I mean, as a woman, but then we didn't realize. Like, he's like, we should, he says he would actually change it if he could do it now.
It's a weird thing because I can see where they're coming from. On one end, they're like, well,
He's
this
like, I thought we were
ancient
being
one
progressive
seems
in
like a
different ways.
story.
Yeah.
This seems like a stereotype to have the ancient Chinese guy be the old wise man, but then we're just taking the only Chinese character out of
well, because they're like, hey, we won't make it negative and we'll make it a woman. But then it's like, well, hold on. But then
why don't we just make it a more rounded character, and then it could be a Chinese man without being upsetting. That's where they get accused of. Well, you took the Tibetan monk out of it to keep it sort of sanitized for the Chinese market. I don't know if that's a fair enough criticism because Wong is there, isn't he? He's a Tibetan monk.
I mean, to that credit, we don't get to see a lot of any other the people. It feels like once the stuff goes down, they're the only three left. The ancient one, and the Mordor. What's his name?
Oh, I already forgot.
Mordu
sounds right.
But this is the 10 Rings, right? So that's like the thing, the terrorist group that's in Iron Man, and
yeah, it's neat that they've laid the groundwork for that, and they sort of indirectly laid the groundwork for Mandarin because they sort of retcon their Mandarin with, like, I guess it was a short. I never saw the short film where
that was
after
cool.
Iron Man.
Oh, that's great. You haven't seen that? You should watch that. It's like Hail to the King or whatever. You should watch that on YouTube.
I should watch it before this movie because they suggest that there's a real Mandarin, and that's who this dude's now going to be.
Well, I mean, the whole point is that they actually that they're actually showing that it's his dad, right? That's the whole point. So it's like,
it becomes an interesting meta commentary because then you have in the story, you have literal white guys who have sort of co-opted this idea as their own. And I'm the Mandarin. There's like two different white guys in that movie that are like, I'm the Mandarin. That's weird. And so now you've got these people where they're like, well, we're gonna reverse that cultural appropriation. So it's got an interesting meta commentary on top of the actual story too. That they're correcting the filmmaking mistake at the same time the narrative is correcting.
If anything, just a spoiler. It's a stupid little short. It's not going to spoil, but it might motivate you to watch it. If anything, it's worth watching because it's got a reappearance of Hammer, of Sam Rockwell, because he's in prison.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's like you see him.
He would be a fun one to bring back.
They could. They totally could.
Like a bargain basement Tony Stark.
Justin Hammer, he's great. Yeah.
Give him a redemption arc. Like he's in a world where there's no Tony Stark, he's kind of a genius inventor.
He would be fun if they bring in Fantastic Four at some point, that he comes in as like another. He's like, I'm out. But now this guy is, it's like. But so I'm excited. That's 2 or 3 months from now. So
that's coming fast. Like it'd be like 2 or 3 weeks, and it'll be Black Widow, and then not too long after that is the Suicide Squad. I'm not excited about it, but I know it'll be good.
Yeah, well,
like the Suicide Squad, I'm kind of excited about because it has that James Gunn signature, and it looks like a lot of fun. Like it
could be wild.
Looks like something that could be special. I think Shang-Chi is probably a little more exciting to me than Black Widow.
Well, I think that is well, and it's sort of like high wire sort of thing. Like Black Widow, I don't think it's more like I know that's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be like funny, and it's gonna be cool action. It's gonna be like Jason Bourne and
it's got great people in it.
It looks like it's funny and stuff too, so it's great. Now watching this is like I'm excited about this because this could be beautiful and great. I don't know, like a weird, like just on our multiverse discussions we do when we're watching Loki, I'm excited about Spider-Man because that's when we're like, whoa, okay, so what's gonna happen, guys?
I'm always excited about Spider-Man. I'm excited about what they're doing, and I just love to see Spider-Man.
That's the one
I love those movies
coming out any moment now, so we got to watch it on here too. So that'll be good.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely got to do that because I'll be super stoked about it.
From an overall standpoint, it's just like to see how Marvel's going to pull it off. I'm kind of more interested in Eternals, just from a like high wire active, like because it looks the most tonally. This looks great, but this looks again like of the same universe, just a different corner of the Marvel universe. Eternals is like a little bit. It's a bigger swing, I think, in a weird like kind of way, tonally too. So I was like, I'm interested to see how that. I'm interested to see Kumail too, and also feel like I'm excited about that movie, and a lot of. More from just like
that would introduce a new layer to the universe, like what they're bringing into it. And there's so many concepts they could draw on. I love any high concept Jack Kirby stuff. I wish they were still developing a New Gods movie.
I wonder if what's the guy that name created Jim Starlin who did Thanos.
Jim Starlin created Thanos, yeah.
He's listed as creator here too in Englehart, so
that makes sense. I don't remember who wrote the very original comics, but it could have been him. He did a lot of the cosmic stuff back then.
Well, he's listed as Shang-Chi though, I'm saying, as on this movie.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So they must have, but that was before his time, right? Because he was like 80s, and this is Shang-Chi originated before that, but who knows? Who knows?
I think he's around in the 70s because
maybe they did a more modern Mandarin run. Maybe that's part of that story. Who knows?
Well, that's what they always do. Is like you draw the character, but you can't really draw those original storylines. Like I said,
they're no good.
They're pretty, even if they're not problematic. Those old storylines are pretty simple a lot of times. You draw characters and build your world based on those, but it's usually the later comics that have the more complex storylines, like they're doing with Thor now. That's a pretty recent storyline that they're weaving into the new Thor movie. So it'll be fun.
Well, that's. Alrighty, well, cool. I'm excited. I think that's good.
Fun one, yeah. Those look good.
So the Spider-Man one, hopefully soon.
Oh yeah.